I need a man who excites me, she posted while still in my bed. So I blocked her and disappeared. Now she's broke, alone, and begging for me back. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I need to get this off my chest because what happened to me 2 years ago still feels surreal. I'm sharing this because I've seen too many guys stay in situations where they're being disrespected publicly, and I want them to know there's another way. My ex-girlfriend Jessica and I dated for 2 years. I'm a software engineer, she worked in marketing, and we met through mutual friends. In the beginning, everything felt natural. We'd cook together, watch movies, take weekend trips. I genuinely thought I'd found my person. The problem started about 6 months before we broke up. Jessica became obsessed with social media in a way that felt different from normal usage. She'd post everything we did, but with captions that subtly complained about our relationship. A photo of us at dinner would be captioned, "Trying to make the best of boring date nights, grinning face with sweat." Or, "When you're an adventurous soul stuck in a routine relationship, pensive face." At first, I thought maybe she was just being funny or relatable. But then I started noticing the comments. Random guys would respond with things like, "You deserve better, gorgeous," or "I'd never bore a woman like you." And Jessica would reply with heart emojis and, "Thanks babe, 2 hearts." I decided to address it directly. I'm not the type to let disrespect slide, even if it's disguised as social media content. "Jessica, we need to talk about your posts," I said one evening after she'd shared another story about our predictable relationship. She looked up from her phone, annoyed. "What about them? You're essentially advertising that you're unhappy with me to thousands of strangers. That's not creative expression, that's disrespectful." She rolled her eyes. "You're being paranoid, Marcus. It's just social media. You don't understand my need for creative expression. I'm building a brand. Your brand is complaining about your boyfriend while he's sitting right here? God, you're so dramatic." It's not that deep. But it was that deep. And it got worse. Jessica started following this photographer named Dylan who commented on all her posts. Good-looking guy, artsy aesthetic, the whole package. Soon, she was liking every single one of his posts going back months. Then came the comments. First, they were public. Dylan would comment, "Stunning as always, fire," on her photos, and she'd respond, "You're too sweet, face blowing a kiss." I screenshotted a few key posts, just to confirm my sanity. Was I overreacting? Looking at the evidence, I knew I wasn't. The breaking point came on a Tuesday night. Jessica posted a photo of herself at a coffee shop with the caption, "I need a man who actually excites me, fire, #settling is living." We were still together. We'd had dinner the night before. And she posted that. I felt something shift in my chest. Not heartbreak, something colder. Clarity. I didn't call her. I didn't text her. I blocked her on every platform I could think of. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat. I changed my phone number. I contacted my boss and requested to work remotely, which they'd been offering anyway. Jessica showed up at my apartment the next day. "What the hell is wrong with you?" she demanded when I opened the door. "Why are you blocking me everywhere? You said you needed a man who excites you." I replied calmly. "I'm not that man, apparently. So go find him. You're being ridiculous. It was just a post." Just a post. I pulled out my phone and showed her the screenshots. These are all from the past month. "You've been advertising that you're unhappy with me, flirting with this Dylan guy, and now you're posting about needing someone else. I'm not going to compete for someone who's already checked out." Her expression flickered. Surprise, anger, then panic. "You're supposed to fight for me," she said, her voice getting higher. "I fight for people who respect me. You've made it clear that's not you. So what? You're just going to throw away 2 years. You threw it away the moment you decided to humiliate me online. I'm just accepting reality." She started crying then, but it felt manipulative. "Marcus, I love you. I was just confused. I didn't mean." "Yes, you did. You meant every word. And now you get to live with the consequences." I closed the door and listened to her pound on it for 10 minutes before she finally left. Here's what I learned. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Jessica had shown me she was willing to disrespect me publicly for attention from strangers. That's not someone you build a life with. I threw myself into work and personal growth. I started going to the gym regularly, picked up photography as a hobby, and focused on my career. Within 3 months, I'd gotten a promotion and was working remotely from a city I'd always wanted to try. Meanwhile, Jessica's social media told a different story. She'd apparently moved in with Dylan pretty quickly after our breakup. Her posts were all about their artistic adventures and how she'd finally found her creative soulmate. I only knew this because mutual friends would update me, thinking I cared. I didn't. But then the posts started changing. Dylan would post photos of them together, but Jessica looked different in each one. Her hair was shorter, then longer, then dyed a different color. Her style changed completely. In one photo, she was wearing all black and looked uncomfortable. Friends started commenting asking if she was okay. The truth came out slowly. Dylan wasn't just controlling. He was systematically isolating her. He'd convinced her to quit her job to focus on their art together. He'd made her delete most of her social media accounts because they were too commercial. He'd moved her away from her friends because they were negative influences. And then he cheated. Multiple times. With other women he was collaborating with. Jessica's friend Sarah reached out to me about 8 months after the breakup. "Marcus, I know you and Jessica are over, but she's in a really bad place. Dylan turned out to be abusive. She has no job, no money, and she's basically trapped with him because she can't afford to leave." "That's terrible," I said, and I meant it. "I don't wish abuse on anyone. She's been wanting to reach out to you, but she's too ashamed. Could you maybe just call her? She realizes she made a huge mistake." "Sarah, I appreciate you caring about Jessica, but I can't help her. She made her choice. But you loved her. She was just confused. I loved someone who didn't exist. The real Jessica was willing to humiliate me for attention from strangers. That's who she chose to be." Sarah tried a few more times, but I was firm. I wasn't angry at Jessica. I was indifferent. She'd made her choice, and I'd made mine. The attempts to reach me got more desperate. Jessica created fake Instagram accounts to message me. She showed up at my old workplace looking for me. She somehow got my mom's number and called her, crying about how she'd made a mistake. My mom told me about it later. She seemed genuinely sorry, "Marcus. People make mistakes." "Mom, she didn't make a mistake. She made a series of deliberate choices to disrespect me publicly. There's a difference. But if you loved her, I loved her enough to let her go find what she said she needed. She found it. Now she has to live with it." The final encounter happened at our mutual friend Jake's birthday party last year. I'd moved back to town for a job opportunity and was doing well. Really well. I'd started my own consulting business, was in the best shape of my life, and was genuinely happy. Jessica was there. She looked rough, thin in an unhealthy way, dark circles under her eyes, and she kept checking her phone nervously. When she saw me, her face went through a series of expressions I couldn't quite read. She approached me while I was talking to some friends. "Marcus, can we talk?" Privately. I excused myself and followed her to a quieter corner. Not because I owed her anything, but because I was curious what she had to say. "You look good," she said, trying to smile. "Thank you. I've been trying to reach you. I know. I made a mistake. A huge mistake. I was confused and scared of commitment, and I self-sabotaged because I loved you too much." What Dylan and I had wasn't real. What we had was real. I looked at her for a long moment. 2 years ago, hearing her say that might have meant something. Now, it just felt like words. "You loved the security I provided," I said quietly. "You didn't love me. You can't humiliate someone you love." "That's not true. I was just young and stupid." "Jessica, you posted that you needed a man who excited you while we were together. You flirted with Dylan in front of me. You chose to embarrass me publicly because you wanted attention from strangers. Those weren't mistakes. Those were choices. But I see now that I was wrong. I see what I lost. You lost at the moment you decided I wasn't enough for your social media narrative. I'm not angry about it anymore. I'm grateful. You showed me exactly who you were, and I believed you." She started crying then, but this time it seemed genuine. "Please, Marcus. I know I don't deserve it, but could we just try? I've learned there's nothing to try. I don't know the person standing in front of me, and I don't want to." I walked away, and she didn't follow. Later, Jake told me she'd had a breakdown at the party after I left. She'd apparently started posting on social media about how she'd lost the love of her life and was begging for a second chance. The posts were public, desperate, and honestly kind of embarrassing. A few people reached out to me afterward, saying I should give her a chance. But here's what I learned. When someone shows you they're willing to disrespect you publicly, they'll do it again. Maybe not immediately, maybe not in the same way, but they'll do it. I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago. I'm stronger, more successful, and I know my worth. I'm dating someone new now, someone who would never dream of posting about needing a more exciting man while in a relationship with me. Someone who understands that love isn't performed on social media. Last I heard, Jessica was still living with Dylan. Her social media is mostly private now, but from what I can see, she looks unhappy. I don't feel satisfaction from that. I feel nothing. She's a stranger who used to know me. The lesson here isn't about revenge or karma. It's about knowing when someone has crossed a line you can't uncross. Jessica didn't just cheat on me. She humiliated me publicly while asking strangers for validation. That's not someone you build a life with. I'm not angry at her anymore. I'm grateful. She showed me exactly who she was, and I had the strength to believe her. Walking away from that situation was the best decision I ever made. To anyone reading this who's in a similar situation, you deserve better than someone who broadcasts their dissatisfaction with you to the world. You deserve someone who's proud to be with you, not someone who treats you like you're not enough for their online persona. Don't fight for someone who's already decided you're not worth fighting for. Just walk away and build something better. Trust me, it's worth it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.